All right, so we'll say good afternoon. Good afternoon. We are continuing Meretz Hashem Kitzur Shulchan. Actually, very exciting day today. We are going to finish Siman Aleph. We're going to do two short halachas today. So we left off yesterday in Sif Vav. So the Kitzur writes as follows: Mizmori Tehillim v'chein shar parshios miTorah. So whether it's chapters of Psalms, chapters of Tehillim, or other sections of Torah, Nevi'im Uksuvim, or again of Navi Ksuvim, she'inam shigurim b'fi hakol. So the Kitzur says parts of Torah that perhaps we are not as familiar with. What's the halacha? She'enam shigurim b'fal, right? La'omram balpeh. So in other words, if there are parts of Torah that a person isn't necessarily as conversant in, so he doesn't know how to say them balpeh, doesn't know them by heart very well. What's the halacha? Afilu misha yodeh she'omram la'omram balpeh yesh lehizar shala'omram balpeh. So this is actually a very interesting halacha that the Kitzur is bringing down over here, which is that if there are sections of Torah that are not commonly recited by heart, even if a person happens to know them by heart, a person should abstain from reciting them by heart and instead should go ahead and say it only from print. From print, he does, however, say v'suma mutra. Obviously, if someone is blind, then the halacha is he is permitted to go ahead and recite things obviously not from print. He's permitted to recite it by heart. I was saying, what's the pshat with this? So the truth is, all of us know this, just even from davening itself, right? We know this idea that sometimes when we say things by heart, so first of all, it's not so pashut that we always actually know all of the words. Sometimes, again, we think we know the words, we don't know the words. And furthermore, saying something from text, from a siddur, from a chumash, from a navi, gives us a bit more concentration. There's a beautiful story that's told that Rav Yashiv, in his later years, maybe one of his last years of life. So someone had asked him by Yomim Noraim, after Hashanah Yom Kippur, what Kabbalah he had made for the year. It's not just us who make Kabbalahs, even Gedolim make Kabbalahs. Right? So what Kabbalah did he make for the year? And he responds, an incredible mice, and he said, I made a Kabbalah that I'm only going to bench from inside a siddur or a bencher. I'm not going to bench Balpeh. I'm not going to bench by heart. So you say to yourself, the Gadol Hadar, I'm pretty sure he had a pretty good grasp on benching, right? There would have been absolutely no problem for him to go ahead and bench Balpeh. But I think what he was trying to communicate was, in a dome, one cannot compare the kavana that one has when reciting something from text versus saying it by heart. And even if a person is conversant and if it's a part of davening or learning that everyone knows about, okay, so fine, so you could say it by heart. But lamaisa, otherwise, better to go ahead and say it from a text. It's just an interesting idea. Remember, in this Siman Aleph, what the Kitzur is trying to do is give us some of the little pieces that enable us to go ahead and lead a more fulfilling and enriching Judaic life. So something so small as being careful to recite text from inside the text and not Balpeh could change so much of the dynamic in our davening, so much of the dynamic of our learning. Now, again, he does happen to say if there are things that everyone knows by heart, like a good example of this would be Shema. Right? Everyone knows Shema Balpeh. Something that everyone knows by heart, in Achinami, you could go ahead and recite that Balpeh, you could recite that by heart. Good. Halacha Zayin, let's finish the siman. Yesh limchos bi'at ha'omrim tchinos shebe ma'amados shemesayim baruch ato Hashem shomei tefillah. Now I will say, there's a body of tefillah called tchinos. So tchinos are very often, many women say tchinos, which are different supplications for each day of the week as well as for different intervals throughout the year. And also there's ma'amados. Ma'amados, remember again, we know this from Daf Yomi, when the Beis Hamikdash stood. So remember, the Kohanim and Levim would be split up into shifts, and they would each do their avodah. And then there was always a ma'amad. There was always a group of Yisraelim representing Klal Yisrael. There were certain tefillos that were associated for those days. So the truth is, if you look in the back of the Siddurim, specifically Nusach Sfard Siddurim, you'll often find printed there the ma'amados. Those mamish the tefillos that they used to say, the groups of Yisraelim used to say at times the Beis Hamikdash. The Kitzur is just saying some, after they go ahead and they finish the ma'amados or the tchinos for the amados for the day, they'll say a bracha with the name of Hashem. All the Kitzur is saying is one should not recite the name of Hashem for these particular prayers. Why? Because they weren't instituted by Chazal as brachas which have the name of Hashem. Ela yishlomar baruch shamea tefillah below shame. But rather, if one wants to make a concluding blessing, so to speak, one says baruch shamea tefillah, blessed are you Hashem who hears tefillah and leaves out the name of Hashem. So the kids are just highlighting to us how careful we have to be with the usage of the name of Hashem. And even though something is beautiful and holy, if Chazal did not institute that the name of God should be used, we should not go ahead and use it. So I'll just point out to you, very interesting, with this we'll conclude, is the bookends of the Siman. Remember, Rabbi said, first of all, Mazel Tov, we've just completed Siman Aleph, the first leg of our journey in learning Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, so it's very exciting to finish. I'll just point out the bookends, right? How did the Siman start? The Siman started with Shevisi Hashem Lenegdi Samid, the need to create a constant, perpetual God awareness. How does the Siman end? Be careful with how you use the name of Hashem, and don't just use it, at your own whim. Don't just insert it where you want to insert it. And what beautiful bookends. Create God awareness. I'll say, what's the danger of creating God awareness? Sometimes one could say too much God awareness could lead to a bit of familiarity, which could chas v'shalom lead one to take certain liberties with the kavod of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So there is this incredible balance. On one hand, create constant, perpetual God awareness, but always make sure to maintain the yira, as we've been learning in the Ramchal, the yira ultimately associated with one's relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What does Rabbi say? Shkoyach, Mazel Tov on finishing Siman Aleph. Yes, David, go ahead.
One thought, I was in a chapter of this morning, but I was thinking about it today. Real quick, not too heavy.
Go, please.
Since the Aruch-1, and I speak for myself, I haven't talked with my tefillin on. Shlomo, see that? Haven't talked with my tefillin on. And we've started learning Kitzur Shulchan Aruch one day, and one other Kabbalah. I can say for myself, post Yom Kippur, that doesn't happen. And I just speak for myself. So the Aruch-1 has done for me personally, changed my daily activity more than Yom Kippur. That's just a thought.
Wow. Incredible.
We should go back then for Yom Kippur. We should all go back there just
I also would like to know what Rabbi Pinchas Feder is eating. The chicken?
I knew you couldn't control yourself.
David, you were doing so well. You were doing so well. David, I want to tell you something amazing.
No, I'm serious.
So I want to tell you, Rabbi Nachman brings down Likutei Moharan. He says something beautiful. He says, all of Eretz Yisrael has the din of Kodesh HaKadoshim. I don't know what it means. But that's what he says. Like, literally, you go into Eretz Yisrael, you're like the Kohen Gadol on Yom Kippur, Lifnai v'Lifnim. You're literally, every moment in Eretz Yisrael, you're in Kodesh HaKadoshim. It ties in so beautifully with what you're saying. Maybe what you're highlighting is, that's the power of Eretz Yisrael. Sometimes Eretz Yisrael could do on a regular Tuesday what you can't accomplish on a Yom Kippur here in Galus. All right, halavai, we shall be zocha to that. Yeah, beautiful, David, beautiful Ara.
All right.
Shkaya Chevra, Pinchas, on behalf of all of us, enjoy dinner. Enjoy the mamish. It looks great. It looks great. All right, Chevra, have a great day.